welcome back to the Win with Dice podcast, a podcast featuring members of the Win with Dice team. I'm Calvin, and I'm joined here by Ramon.
Hey guys, if you're new to listening to the Win with Dice podcast, it's a podcast all about tabletop RPGs, running them, playing them. Calvin and I like to take a casual approach to GMing. So on this podcast, we just share, all the games we've ran, all the games we've participated in, and what we learned along the way, and any sort of things that we think are cool and relevant to get you behind the GM screen. That's our ultimate goal, to propagate GMs.
Indeed. So this episode, we are going to go back to finish looking at the rest of the Kineticist Playtest put out by Pathfinder, put out by Paizo rather. We're just going to look through the rest of the feats that we hadn't looked at before, specifically the more elemental feats for each specific element that we hadn't taken a look at before. We'll just take a quick look at those, similar to how we did before by reading through the book. It's probably the more interesting part of the class, where you get to really diversify your abilities, and they have some really cool names that I'm excited to get into.
The names are great.
Indeed they are. But before we get into that, we have to get to the most important part of the show, the Win with Dice weekly GM tip of the week.
Yes, the Win with Dice weekly GM tip of the week, brought to you by Ramon, who's stealing this from another YouTuber.
Ooh.
Yes, we were just talking about this before we started recording, but is it MapCrow? I forgot already.
MapCrow, yes, that's the name of the channel, if that's the channel you're talking about.
Yes, that's the channel I'm talking about. So MapCrow put out a video where he was showing like how to make a really quick city map, and it was honestly revolutionary. He basically just took a 14th century map of France, took a just a corner of it, and then just started putting names and in the locations. And it's not really too concerning of where you put it, but obviously if there's features like a river or a specific I don't know, structure that's outlined or detailed, then you could put something that's around there. But the idea is to have interesting names and interesting locations, and to kind of not directly represent the distance and area of those locations, but the connectivity of it. So if you're at one part of the city, you can easily travel to so you can say oh yeah, that thing is all the way across the other side of the city. Now you can work in time. Now you can work in which way you want to go, which place you want to see first, that kind of deal. And you got a little bit of proximity, which is really good. As well as a cool thing, which he did, he basically just inverted the colors, and then underneath on another copy of the map, he put an underground where, and then had underground map locations, but also he drew connectivity points. So it's I guess ways that you can travel the map, and they kind of reflect it. And it literally blew my mind. I was that is so smart.
Yeah, I've come across that sort of thing before, because I've been looking for modern day maps for superhero games, and a lot of people would just use actual real world maps. Yeah. I hadn't thought of doing that for a fantasy game though.
Yeah. I think it's I don't know, it blew my mind. So I'm definitely gonna use that for my cities moving forward if we ever get back to one.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about trying to do that sort of thing, but then I was I don't know if I spent enough time in a city to be worth mapping it out that much, because his campaign's gonna be based in the city.
Yeah. So it depends. I think I might do it for Lancer, actually, because it would be easier for the players to direct themselves. Maybe I'll find a more I'll zoom out a little bit in terms of this city is a mega city or something like that, where there's points of interest and stuff like that, when I do have a section for Lancer inside of a city, just to give it more of a I guess more, I was gonna say tactile feel, but it's just that it feels like you're traveling through a place versus just having a static image or something like that, right?
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I think that's a good thing to do if you want that city to have more personality. You're gonna be there for a while.
So there you go. There's your weekly GM tip of the week.
Groovy. And there'll be a link to that video below if you want to go there to check it out for more detail.
Oh no, it's the Win with Dice weekly GM tip of the week. I messed it up. Oh well, that's
we'll
okay.
fix it in post.
I'm a little under the weather, so.
Well, speaking of weather,
yeah, true. There's a lot of rocks in the air right now. It's like,
yeah, it's been raining fire all day.
That's so weird.
Let's hop into examining these feats. So we're gonna look at them in the order they are presented, which is air, earth, fire, water, I believe. Just alphabetized. Again, we looked at most of the stuff last week, so if you want to see more of the general stuff, go check out that video. But today we're gonna start off looking at the air feats, as the wildly and swift powers of the wind heed your call. So,
yeah.
Again, as you level up your character, and like in every other Pathfinder character, you can get feats at certain levels. And if you match the requirements for these feats, then you can, take them on the way you would a normal feat, or a general feat for the class. These are essentially class feats, is what I'm trying to say.
They're like the buttons you press to do the damage.
Yeah, basically. But let's get into the first one. It's a pretty simple, straightforward one. Well, relatively. Aerial Boomerang, which allows you to do some damage in a line, but it also comes back to you at the start of your next turn.
Like a boomerang.
Like a boomerang.
That's pretty cool. So wait, so you throw this thing out in the area, like the thing takes 2d4 slashing damage, basic reflex saves. Sounds pretty good. In the final square, the boomerang will swirls in place. Any creature that ends their turn in the square has to save against the boomerang. So it's like an actual, I guess, air boomerang spinning around, like an asshole. And then it just. Oh, so then it returns back to you. Whoa, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yes. So that is part of the strategy of this thing, because it doesn't go back to the spot where you threw it from. It goes back to you. And it does take 2 actions to use, but if you move before the start of your next turn, that means it's not going to come back in the same line. So you can have some really good setup strategy there if you're fighting something that isn't like... If you're fighting something that isn't going to stay still, you might be able to set up something with the rest of your allies if you move yourself into the right position.
Yeah. I wonder if it combos with any... I don't remember if there's any ability that like you can move your allies. That might pair well with a team that's able to like swap places or like push people around or whatever. Although that sounds like a 4th edition thing, so maybe I'm mistaken that, but that would be kind of cool.
I think the game's big enough that there's probably at least one thing that does that. I think there might be a fighter thing that lets you switch positions with someone. I might be thinking of 5e actually, so I don't know for sure. We might be thinking of totally different games.
Yeah, if not, there should just be a thing like that. There should be a class where it's just like you just move your allies. That would be pretty dope. some sort of like tactician or warlord class. Peso, make it happen, man. Like, or if you already did, you should probably promote it more, because I have no clue.
There's probably an archetype or something that has leadership as a thing or a background.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. It sounds actually pretty dope. I like the idea of air being around like positioning and movement and shit.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clever. So air cushion, it feels largely like Featherfall.
All right, let's move on from Featherfall. X.
I mean, I'm sure there's like specific differences, but if we want to move on, it does basically just like help cushion damage from a fall.
Yeah, I don't know how long Featherfall actually operates. Looks like this has like a duration of like a minute.
Yeah, I think Featherfall is like instantaneous.
But this is like you actually have like a cushion of air, so that might be like more useful.
Yeah.
And we went over like impulse and I was gonna say like overdrive, but I don't think that's what it's called.
Overflow. Yes, we went over
like
sunlight yellow overdrive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so impulse feats are a kineticist type of feat that require you to have gathered an element before you use them. And you can use them without using up the element that you have, but overflow uses up the element that you have, so you have to regather it with another action.
Yeah, it's like you explain it to be like it's like rage. You just have to be in the gathered state to have that thing going first, spend an action to get the element in your hand to do whatever you need to do with it.
Yeah, it is essentially like rage. Yeah. So fair winds. This increases your speed while slowing down your enemies in the aura around you. And kinetic aura is again a specific class feature, which is I think normally within 5 or 10 feet of you. And then you can increase the size of it with other kineticist feats.
Nice. It looks like you can also boost your allies too, so that's pretty good. That's a pretty nice utility, actually.
Yeah.
Being able to help yeet your barbarian friend further down the combat. Get right in there.
Exactly. Like if you're standing right next to your melee friends, then they'll have a +10 bonus for essentially for the rest of their turn.
Yeah, which is pretty dope actually. Especially if you combo that with like, I'm thinking like sudden charge or something like that from a barbarian. Just thinking of Ray, just like being able to move twice +10 feet to their base land speed. So then that's like plus 20 feet because you stride twice and then do an attack for 2 actions.
Oh yeah,
bruh, that's like a bar missile, man.
Nothing is getting away from that.
Yeah, seriously. Slap
a haste on there. Oof, done.
Danger zone, man. Man's flying.
Entire map is danger zone.
Yeah.
Next we have Whisper on the Wind. This was one of the interesting ones to me. I just thought it was really cool, but it's basically like message. But you don't need to be able to see each other if you know your target's name, or if you start with your target's name.
That's pretty cool. So it's
and I don't know. I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely could set up some cool scenarios where you're trying to like communicate over distance. Actually, if in a scenario where like you guys are both like you're exploring different places in like a dungeon, you can communicate. That's one of the biggest problems, right? It's like when you split the party, it's like how do you communicate? Here you go.
You just whisper on the wind, and it's only one-way communication, but still.
Yeah, like, I'm getting eaten. It's okay. I'm okay. Well, unless you have 2 air kineticists on the team, now you guys can both be in communications.
Sure, if you bring 2 avatars, then sure.
I'm just saying, we should just all be playing this class, apparently.
Oh yeah, I'm really curious what other people will do with this class after I ran through a Earth-specific one.
Flinging Updraft.
Yes.
Yes. Picking someone up and depositing nearby. Oh, here we go. Choose a creature within 60 feet of you. The target jumps up 30 feet in any direction if he doesn't land. I'm just saying, like, you got two of these air dudes. You know, one of them does the boomerang. The other one just moves him wherever it needs to. The boomerang keeps coming back. I'm just saying, it's a pretty easy strategy. Like, take that, GM.
Yeah, like, it does say choose a creature within 60 feet of you, but I would allow someone to choose themselves. I mean, you're within 60 feet of yourself, but I don't know if it specifically wants you to choose something different.
Well, I think that, like, the idea would be, I think it has to be someone. It says choose a creature, so I think it's specific, like, somebody else other than you. Yeah. But I think if you had 2 air kineticists just, you know, playing off of each other, like one person does the boomerang, the other one just moves them wherever they need to move, you can get that boomerang to go pretty far and mess up a lot of people. I guess 2d4 isn't really that big of a deal, but I'm sure you can like pump it up or do something cool with it, or just like a simple kind of strategy. I'm sure that's like, it's like, and I guess that you could probably like, I think there is like a couple of class features that lets you do these actions faster, right? Instead of it being 2 actions, it's like 1 action, right?
I think there was one like that that we had talked about before, but it was fairly high level.
Yeah.
Still, though, I mean, yeah, that's a good strategy, a good combination to be able to move that boomerang around.
Or just like yeet that barbarian straight in there, man. Like, the fact that you fly them too, that's like pretty crazy. That means you could like all these people up in like high like parapets or like at the tops of like 30 feet is pretty good. Yeah, target jumps 30 feet in any direction. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. You can do it at like a safe distance back too, 60 feet. Jump that barbarian up the castle walls. Like, yo.
That's like basically 1 movement for most creatures. More than that, actually, because I think 25 is average for most creatures.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's also not an overflow, surprisingly. But Boomerang is. Speaking of overflows, there is Soothing Breeze, which allows you to extinguish small fires and give creatures back some HP. I know the Earth one also has some healing in the 4th level feats. I'm not sure if all of them do, but it would be interesting if they also had that as like a thing they're capable of.
Oh, it's nice that it's able to disperse. Oh, it's non-magical fog and smoke. Oh, I thought it could just, deal with like kill cloud or any of those spells that are just like take the bad cloud, right? The bad gas. But that's still pretty good if like there's some like what's it called? Like environmental hazards.
Yeah, because traps aren't inherently magical, right?
Yeah.
Could be something.
Right.
And then, of course, 3d4 hit points. No one's going to say no to hit points. This is another one that increases as you level up. So once you get to like level 6 and then 8 and so on, it'll increase by 1d4. Which could be useful depending on what your party is comprised of. Like, obviously, clerics at that level are going to be doing way more, but if you don't have one, healing is healing, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Especially multiple creatures.
Yeah, 3d4 is nothing to scoff at. That's like your team was going to die, and now they're back up.
For at least a round.
For at least a round, yeah.
Clear as air.
Okay. Oh, okay. You turn into air.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like bending light. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're basically invisible.
You become invisible like air. That's interesting.
Yeah, you're basically invisible for 10 minutes as long as you don't use any hostile activities. Although at higher levels you can use hostile activities.
Okay, cool. That sounds pretty utility.
Yeah, like you do have to reset it every 10 minutes, but like that's definitely pretty useful if you're trying to sneak in somewhere. You just have to worry about being visible for 6 seconds every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because it is an overflow, so you have to regather. But yeah, again, super useful. Storm Spiral. Now we're getting to the really cool names. Which is basically summoning a thundercloud and using it to do some electricity damage in a burst area.
Sounds pretty good to me. I mean, it's on the par of what's that? There's like a couple of spells that just do the D12. As well as I think there's like a focus spell that does like a couple D12, so it's like pretty good. Yeah, it's in a 10-foot burst, and that thing is I think the D12s is just like a single target spell, but this is pretty good. Although it is 3 actions, 10-foot burst, 30-foot. Yeah, I mean I'll take it.
Yeah, I think like this and the Boomerang are good things that are good against like crowds of enemies, because 10-foot burst is like a decent size against melee enemies that are crowding. 3d12 damage, and they might you are able to push them as well if they fail the check. So
yeah, that's pretty dope. That's like a good amount of positioning. So yeah.
Next up we have Celestial Palisade.
Ooh.
So a barrier that stops anyone from passing through, a 30-foot long barrier. I think Wall of Wind has come up before in our game, or that might have been a Gust thing that was used to save my butt at one point.
Yeah, it was Gust, but this is basically Gust. Oh, this is Wall of Wind, I guess.
Yeah.
Has the effects of Wall of Wind, except it also stops flying. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. That's another utility ability to just stop flying creatures. That's one of the big things. It's like flying creatures can just do whatever they want, right?
Yeah, you definitely want to be able to like control that in some ways. This is good for controlling that flying movement.
Yeah.
Wings of Air. Speaking of flying movement, this gives you a fly speed equal to your land speed, or 30 feet, whichever is greater, for 10 minutes.
Cool. You just get fly. That's not bad. And it's just like an impulse, so you just gather it and then do it.
Yeah. And you also, you don't fall at the end of your turn if you don't use the fly action. Like you can hover.
You can hover. That's pretty nice. Actually, that's like really nice, because that's one of the hard things. You're like, with flying, you have to actually keep moving, or else you'll fall, which makes sense.
But with this, you can just like hover in air. 12th level, Circulate Qi. Qi? I'm actually not sure how it's pronounced.
I thought it was QI for a sec. I was like, what?
It is QI.
I thought it was a term for wind, but no, this is just like Circulate Qi. So yeah. Okay, you just get to contact some conditions.
And just pop 30 HP on something.
Yeah,
it is 12th level though, so 30 HP is, I mean, it's not nothing, but it is 12th level.
I mean, it's probably like a quarter of your HP if you're just like a regular, not like a thick boy, you know, not one of those thick boys. You get to heal some. Yeah, I don't know. That's not bad. I just want to get to the 18th level. I saw that name and I was like,
we have to go in order. I see you looking over there.
Take it, coming.
All right, well let's speed it up then. Wiles on the Wind. You can create an auditory illusion.
Not as cool.
It's basically an auditory illusion that I think has more range than the usual one.
Boo.
Can fascinate people. All right, Body of Air. You get resistance 10, which is pretty good.
Okay, same as affects its gaseous form, but it also gives you resistance 10, so that's pretty nice.
Furious Cyclone. 7d10 bludgeoning damage for an area effect.
Yeah,
10 foot wide,
big
60 foot line, which is pretty thick.
Big old tornado go. Yeah, so it's a pretty much like a standard reflex save, but they get pushed 10 feet in any direction from the central axis of the cyclone. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, getting pushed 20 feet would be really rough. Okay, here we are, Ramon. Infinite expanse of bluest heaven. Sphere of distorted air creates an illusion of a limitless expanse of impossibly blue sky. All within feel the overwhelming sensation of falling forever.
No, stop. This is basically Limitless from Jujutsu Kaisen. What the heck? This is like infinite. Listen, man, I have to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure somebody is a Jujutsu Kaisen fan who designed this. Like,
probably. So it seems like it creates an illusion. You get a will save against it. If they have the air trait that affects their ability to save. Mm-hmm. But the result of the illusion is that it is also disoriented. So it's flat-footed because it feels like it's falling. It's fleeing from the illusory sky, but also disoriented. So anytime it makes an attempt to move, it must succeed at a DC 11 flat check or move into a space that's still within the illusion. So...
It's so sad. I can't escape.
But yeah. How big was this burst again? 10-foot burst. So essentially, they're trapped within that 10 feet of space unless they succeed a flat check. So not even like a skill check of any kind, but a literal 50-50 check to see if they're able to move out of this 10-foot space.
That's so badass. I mean, like... That's so like, you're trapped.
And if you get a good blender set up there...
yeah, you and all your bros just whacking on this thing. Yeah, it's pretty good.
And I think this is the last one here. Crowned in Tempest Fury.
Crowned in Tempest Fury, my man. All right.
That sounds like the name of a Lancer mech.
Actually, definitely will copy that.
True.
For my next, I'll be like a Manticore. That'd be pretty cool.
So you reach out to find a devastating thunderstorm on the plane of air and make yourself one with it, placing a crown of lightning upon your brow. Sparks flash in your eyes and lightning strikes constantly in the air around you as winds howl and lift you. That sounds pretty cool. I had a Stormborn sorcerer in a game that I kind of wish had access to some of these.
I mean, I think they should. If I have to be honest with you, like Crowned in Tempest Fury just sounds like it should just be like a super awesome magic item, or like an ability that you learned because you did some narrative bullshit with my story, and it's like, yes, you can have the Tempest Crown of Fury, right? And his ability is called Crowned in Tempest Fury, and just literally copy and paste.
Yeah, I think I'll give it to a bad guy instead.
Like you kill a bad guy, you take his hat. It's like magic lightning hat. He's like, yeah, this is mine now. I am the bad guy.
Nice. So anybody who moves near you, they get 2d12 electricity. You get a fly speed, bonus to all of your speeds. And if you use an air elemental blast, it gets an additional d12 of damage. So you're basically a storm cloud.
Dope.
Okay, Earth.
All right.
Unbreakable, implacable.
Rockman.
The Boulder.
The Boulder, yes.
Okay, so Geological Attunement. Basically Tremor sense within your kinetic aura. And you can also create difficult terrain around you.
It's pretty good. Basically, bend in earth like you do.
We're going to keep saying earth bending and various kinds of bending as we go on.
Yeah.
Stepping stones is basically creating platforms for people to walk on.
That's pretty cool. That's actually super utility too. I actually like that a lot.
Yeah, especially if you have some dangerous terrain that you're going through, or hazardous terrain.
Or just dudes on high ledges just be like, haha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you want to get over some lava or something.
Yeah, that's cool.
Stone shield, it basically gives you a shield. This is an ability that I did have. I didn't use it too much. Just because me personally, I always forget to raise shields whenever I play something with a shield.
Yeah.
But it does give you the ability to raise a shield, which gives you some AC bonus and the typical shield block stuff. However, you don't have to worry about repairing this shield because it's made of rock, so it just crumbles after it breaks. Tremor. This is something I got some decent use out of when I played. It's essentially a burst within 30 feet of you, and creatures have to make a fortitude save to avoid taking a 2d4 rather of damage. And if they fail that save, or critically fail, they're knocked prone. And then the ground there is difficult terrain. So yeah, I found some use for that. It's an overflow, so it just eats up all your ability, but you do some decent damage, especially when you have a group of enemies to deal with. And you can just put them down for a bit. Dust Storm. This is essentially concealing, but it also conceals like things outside of it. So like you're concealed from things that are outside of your storm, but things outside of your storm are also concealed from you.
Yeah. It's just like a barrier of vision, so it's like you can't really see out of it, but you can see all the stuff in it, and everything that's in it, like that's outside of it, can't really see what's inside of it. Yeah, it's like literally like a dust storm.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if it's super useful, because it's going to be hard to shoot out of, if you're doing any ranged stuff out of, but I can see it being useful at melee distance, or if you just need to hide, or something like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that it's really good if you need, like, a breather to close the gap, right? Like, if you're just being peppered by arrows or some ranged thing, you have to try and get them to move in close, right? You could just put up the dust storm, and then it's like, all right, either you come to me or I'm coming to you, or like maybe one of your characters are down, right? You don't want to be targeted by some ranged bullshit. You just go and like pop up the dust storm and walk over there and give it a little protection, right?
Yeah.
Also, it conceals them, right? So like I think for like hiding and stuff like that, it might count. Whatever, or like you could even help characters get like sneak attack or something like that on characters who are concealed, or like be able to be like get hidden or something like that, because they're concealed already. That might be a thing.
Yeah, if you're close enough, I'm pretty sure that would work. And concealed is like a 50-50 to hit. So
yeah.
And also,
yes, the good mud.
Yeah, restoring mud. This is the one that I gave my character, just because I think it's really funny that you throw a ball of mud at a character within 30 feet. And then it coats their body, but heals their wounds. I just like the idea of throwing a mud ball at someone. It just like splashes all over them, creates this huge mess, but they heal up a bit.
Yeah, but they feel better. It's like, oh, my injuries.
They might feel better, but it'll make a total mess of all their clothes and everything. That's at least how I would play it. Igneogenesis. You can create a permanent stone object, so you're basically sculpting out the stone. It can't be like super intricate or have very fine details. And it has to fit within a 5-foot cube that's adjacent to you. But you can create it underneath yourself or a willing creature. So you can...
Oh, that's cool. You can make like platforms and stuff like that. So you can just be like, here's this 5... Oh, are you able to like stack them? Like every turn you just make another 5-foot cube on top of another 5-foot cube?
Oh no, because it lasts until you use it again.
Oh, whoops. True. But it's still like a 5-foot cube, so you can actually like make line of sight blocking cover because it's a 5-foot, up to a 5-foot cube, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
As a GM, I feel like if you just need to like seal up an area, then yeah, that makes sense to me.
I was trying to see if it specifically has to be on a surface.
Oh, like you just put it in thin air?
Yeah, like if you use it again, then you just bump them up another 5 feet.
Actually, it sounds like you just spontaneously create Earth from nothing.
Pretty much.
Like it's just like out of thin air. Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can also see
cool.
like RP stuff you could use it for if you want to leave like a marker or a message or something.
Yeah, or like anything really, like a chair. Make a chair.
You just sit down.
You can sit down, yeah.
If you want to leave a QR code in a dungeon and just really confuse someone.
Yeah.
Rolling Boulder.
Yes. You make the Indiana Jones trap.
Basically.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, man. Like, I think this is really self-explanatory.
Yeah, it's just you create damage in a line. If someone fails to check, they take damage or they get moved by it. And they get moved by it if they fail.
And they're prone, right? Oh, if they don't have any space to move, they're just knocked prone. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Just down a hallway. GG. Like.
Yeah. I kind of wish it was like the other tornado one where it's like 10 foot wide, but I get it.
Yeah.
At 30 foot wide is fine. Spike Skin. You touch a willing creature and its skin hardens to form spiky protrusions. Gets resistance to physical damage. And whenever it's hit by a melee attack, the attacking creature gets 2 piercing damage.
Okay. Cool. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, resistance and then automatic damage. 2 at like 8th level isn't a whole lot, but
it helps. I guess. But the resistance is nice, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest benefit there.
Mm-hmm.
Swim through Earth. You get a burrow speed as you swim through the ground.
Oh, but more importantly, at 14th level, you can swim through stone and lava, although you still take the lava damage.
But can you not normally swim through lava? I think lava might be not as liquidy as... Well, I mean, assuming you have some protection from it.
I would not allow anyone to swim through lava because it's like basically trying to swim through molasses, and I don't know if you know how thick molasses is. Like,
yeah, I think I'm underestimating.
Like,
I'm underestimating how thick lava is.
You would just sink and die like that if you didn't explode from the fire. Like, it's like, no, you cannot swim through lava.
Dang it.
Unless you're magic like this.
Lava isn't just orange water.
Yeah.
It's hot orange water.
The video games didn't lie to me.
No, video games. Hurtling Rockfall. Rocks fall, your enemies die. You create...
Alright, I mean it seems to me... Oh wait, there's like you create ball that deals 3d8 bludgeoning damage and all creatures in a 5 foot square within 60 feet. The shrapnel slices creatures in that square. Oh, okay, so it's kind of like you hit somebody and then the emanation from the explosion of rocks, I guess, does damage. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Especially as you level it up.
Yes. Rock Rampart. Okay, you just make...
Wall of stone.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. I'm not going to say no. It's a free Rampart. Yes. Assume Earth's mantle.
Yes. Good now. We're back into the cool ones. So you give yourself some rocky armor. Armor lasts for a minute.
You become large.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty
armor
sweet.
bonus, climb speed, +2 item bonus to fortitude saves. You just become a big rock man.
Your strength becomes 18.
You're like a rock mech pilot. I'm down with that.
Hell yeah.
Just call me the thing.
That's basically it. Stone Guardian. You can summon an elemental spirit. So you summon a creature that's medium. 30 AC, 120 hit points. 30
That's
AC.
That's a lot of HP and that's a lot of hit points.
I mean, I guess
that's
it's a 14th level
and a lot of
feat,
hit
right?
points. Yeah. I guess everyone's AC is like 30 at that point, because then you get like bonuses from your level and stuff like that. But
It's also immune to crits though, so that's pretty good.
I mean, it's just a rock boy. Nice.
And yeah, you can sustain it, and
Make a
you can
melee
do some
strike.
attacks.
Cool. All right, so I'm the Stone Guardian. All right, 18th level. Give me the good stuff.
Rebirth in Living Stone.
Ooh.
So, rock overflows from within to consume your form before cracking open to reveal your body transformed into living stone.
Oh my god. This is not even my final form.
Basically, so you get 40 temporary HP, you're immune to crits and precision damage, you can't be pushed, pulled, or tripped while standing in earth or stone. Your elemental blast damage die becomes a D10, and at that point you should be doing a lot of die rolls.
I love that this is just like earth install. Like,
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And you can gather your element as a free action, which is very sweet. And
yes.
The Shattered Mountain Weeps, which is again a Lancer mech name. A massive spear of rock appears overhead, exploding into a cataclysm of falling debris and deadly shrapnel. Falls in a 20-foot burst. Creatures in the area take 9d10.
You just summon a mountain?
Yeah. And the tears of the mountain rain down. For 9d10 bludgeoning damage with a basic fortitude save. And if you fail, you're knocked prone. And then it continues to rain for a minute.
Yeah. Shit. I kind of like it better than the Infinite Atmosphere one. But yeah, the Shattered Mountain Weeps, it just sounds so... you just like... All these moves sound... At 18th level, they sound good. They're like, this is fun. I want to play an 18th level Kineticist and go be fighting, a Pit Fiend and being like, you fool! Shattered Mountain Weeps.
The Shattered Mountain Weeps.
And then just like, you're fighting him in hell, and he's like, where did that mountain come from? And you're like, oh boy, just you wait. But yeah. Ooh, Pyrokineticist.
Yes, you tame the most volatile of elements.
Yes, and then then your nation attacks. All right, let's go.
Everything changed when you became a pyrokineticist. Burning Jet.
All right, you are a jump man. Okay, so you just
you can do the thing that Azula did in that one episode.
Yes. Yeah. And when all the Fire Nation people was like, Sosin's Comet showed up, and it was like, enter hacks, and now I can fly.
Basically.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, I like that. I like that it's like, that's what I think. I always think that like fire is like damaging, but also like movement options. So that's pretty cool.
Oh
It's like mirroring like the wind a little bit, which I'm excited for.
Yeah, and like it can help you like actually fly as you level it up. It's really good.
Yeah.
Eternal Torch. You can create a flame.
You're a torch.
Yes.
It's a torch.
But it can be any color you choose.
And it could be brighter. Moving on.
Wow. You don't like torches that have unlimited duration?
I guess so, but like light's a spell. I mean, it's just like, all right, like that's fine. I'm not impressed.
Okay, Flame Eruption. You create a cylinder of upward flames, 5 feet in diameter, 30 feet high, so you can get some flying stuff, within 30 feet of you, and take a d6 that'll increase over time of fire damage with a reflex save.
Oh, cool. And the actual eruption stays for like 1 round.
Yeah. So anything that moves over there will take 1 fire damage.
Yeah, and then you just increase it by d6. That's actually a really cool spell. I like it better than the torch. It's like you... I don't know,
Fair.
man.
It depends on what's useful, right? Like, if you're in a campaign where you actually have to pay for torches.
Really? Calvin, they're like... You actually have to pay for torches.
I would do it.
I feel like that should just be built in. It should just be like you can just have light because you're a fireman. Like it should just be like when you gather your element, you also get a torch. Like what do you mean?
To be fair, you can put it on other objects. I think with the basic gathering of element with the fire, you can have like just a torch flame, but it's on you specifically.
But you can give it to other people. All right, that's nice.
Now it's good. Warming Nimbus. Waves of pleasant warmth. So creatures get resistance to either cold or fire if they're within your aura.
That's weird. Why is it called Warming Nimbus if it's also can protect you against the heat? But I guess I'll take it.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. And if you have elemental resistance from anything, your resistance from other type of damage you get class feature.
That's pretty cool. So then you can get Warming Nimbus and work it with, I don't know, any of the other resistance stuff that you had before.
Yeah, like I think Ifrit or whatever, anything that would have like resistance to cold or fire already.
Yeah, but it has to be a class feature, right? So, cool.
Oh, true, class feature, my mistake.
Yeah. So it would be like, you're a tiefling or some shit like that, or you're a robot.
Or man. Like from this class, presumably the resistance feature.
Probably. Cool. Blazing Wave.
Yeah.
It's Burning Hands, but plus.
Plus prone. I'm pretty sure Burning Hands doesn't do prone.
No, but this is like but it's like, you're punching, right? So it's like karate, but also magic at the same time.
Yeah,
it's almost like you're bending some elements. I don't.
That is this is the firebender thing. This is the move.
It just feels like it's like remember Burning Hands, but it's a fist this time. Desert Shimmer. Heat waves. Your Kineticist conceals. Any creature that starts their turn takes 2 fire damage, and you ignore concealment. Oh, cool. That's like a better. Well, it's not better, but it's like a more ease of use. Dust cloud or whatever from the Earth Kineticist.
Yeah, it's just that it also damages anything in there, so it would include your allies.
Yeah, but like, who cares about them? It's fine.
Depends on what you think is useful.
Crawling fire. Okay.
You mimic the motions of a beast and it becomes real with flaming pelt and searing claw.
Stop. No.
This crawling fire has a form of your devising, drawn from your memories, your dreams, or your creativity. It's small in size, occupying space accordingly. So it appears in an unoccupied space, it's linked to your flame, so you can use your fire impulses through it.
Oh, you get a Pokemon's?
You get a Pokemon's. But more importantly, you can use it to shoot elemental blasts because you can use it to do your impulses through.
That's pretty cool.
You can also use it for overflows, but the creature is destroyed, similar to how when you overflow normally, you lose your ability.
Up. Nice. I'm into it. Oh man, I wonder if the wood and metal one also get like, you get to like summon a tree.
Yeah, I'm super curious what those are gonna be.
Yeah, and like the metal one's gonna be like, how sharp are you? Like, I'm pretty sure, because like the Earth's got like that, I'm a rock, right? It's like, but like, what would be like the metal version? It'd probably be like binding people and like slashing people with like, this is a knife. Although, if you have a sword, isn't it just, are you already bending the metal? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, what is metal? And then if it's a spear or a staff, is it wood? Can you bend the wood?
It's planar, right? Like, all the elemental stuff here is coming from other planes, so presumably for like wood and metal or whatever, it's coming from another plane.
What the hell's a metal plane? Is it like Axiom, where all the robots come from? Axiom might. Anyway, I'm sure Paizo will tell us.
Yeah, I need to read the book first. But yeah, also your creature has your defenses, and damage dealt to it can also be dealt to you.
Whoa, it can be huge. Now we're talking. Big ol' fireman.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty sweet.
Wow. Wandering smoke.
You shift a creature's corporeal form into a plume of smoke. So you basically turn something into smoke. It can move through occupied spaces, ignore difficult terrain. It doesn't trigger reactions. It's basically moving as smoke. I think
that's
Mist
cool.
form is similar.
Yeah, it's cool that you could do it to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, I'm into that. That's kind of like that's like pretty good utility.
You also get smoke vision.
Ooh, see through smoke.
Kindle
inner flames.
As a candle can light another, you awaken the latent potential to channel fire into other creatures.
Oh man.
So choose any number of creatures within 30 feet. They all shed faint embers for a minute and get a bonus to reflex saves, acrobatics checks, and a speed boost.
You get to power up your pals? Your power pals?
Yeah, you inspire everybody with flame. They also...
damn.
Every strike they make before the end of its next turn deals an additional d6 of fire damage.
Nice. Ooh, solar detonation. That's what I'm about.
Blinding flames explode within a swirling sphere. 20-foot burst within 60 feet of you. 3d10 fire damage based on a reflex save. Or dazzling. Dazzling or blinded, actually.
Oh, cool. It's like better Krillin solar flare. Like.
Yeah, you can really mess up a bunch of people with this. Especially if they're blinded and then your barbarian shows up.
Yeah. Like a plow.
Architect of Flame, another wall of an element.
True. He's just like, here's this fire one.
But a variation on the normal wall of that element spell.
Yeah,
I don't have that spell memorized, so I don't know the exact differences, but it does seem like a different size and potentially more damage.
Yeah.
Or less damage, rather.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. But then at 16th level, it gets back up to 46. Nah, who knows? There must be something that in Wall of Fire. I think there's a, if you're standing next to it and if you pass through it, difference of damage, I'm pretty sure. But
maybe.
Furnace form.
Furnace
You are a
form.
furnace. You got fiery booty. Your booty is on fire. Okay.
Just your fire elemental blast add a die of their normal damage to the d4 your unarmed attacks get. While under this effect, you can gather elements as a free action.
You're just powered up. All right, baby. It's like all the other elements stuff, I guess.
Yeah, we saw similar things before. Arrive in Conflagration. You fall through your own gate, leaving behind an effigy of flame, and reappearing majestically near another manifestation of elemental fire. Instantly transport your items to a space within 120 feet that you can see that's adjacent to an open flame, or a creature taking persistent fire damage.
Whoa. Nah, that's dope. You can just like appear, you just teleport and also explode, like just leave like an explosive after image. All right, I'm down.
Fireport.
Yeah, you can use that with your little fire Pokemon and just go next to that one.
True, because it would be a manifestation of elemental fire. Nice.
Yeah, or just like I summon a fire elemental and it's just like, oh man, I'm just gonna come through it.
Oh, that's gonna be really good for avoiding traps. Horrid ignition. Noxious chemical flames that cling to your flow, immolating them in painful flames. So you make a ranged fire elemental blast. I think it adds persistent damage to your typical elemental blast and enfeebles your enemy.
3d6 persistent, that's a lot.
It is. It's 14th level, but for persistent, that's a lot.
That's a good persistent damage.
18th level, all shall end in flames. 7d10 fire damage in a 30-foot burst. This
is Fireball, but plus. It's
yeah.
like plus Fireball.
Because any creature dropped to 0 HP by this fire dies and is reduced to a pile of ash.
That's really good for getting rid of things that just get back up. Just, you're dead now.
However, if you die, because you can hurt yourself with this too, you return to life at the start of your next turn in the same space, with HP equal to double your level.
Oh my god, you could blow yourself up?
Yep.
Infinitely?
Yep.
Dude, this is the best. Actually, I am thoroughly impressed. In all that shot in flames, that's a really good one.
Yeah, we got to get you playing a fire kineticist.
I would burn everything down. I will have no friends.
Ignite the sun. The fires of creation become yours to control. You create a miniature sun in a 5-foot burst within 500 feet. It sheds bright light in a 500-foot radius. Every creature in the area takes 4d6 fire damage. It continuously channels fire into you and your allies. So you and your allies deal an extra d6 of fire damage with all your strikes, spells that deal fire, and impulses that deal fire.
I like that these are like basically alts. Like,
yeah,
they're pretty dope. I mean, I think they're both overflow, so it takes 2 turns to do, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, once you're getting up to that level, you're all doing crazy stuff anyways.
Yeah. Ignite the sun. Oh yes, the Waterman.
Water. The Hydrokineticist. Deflecting Wave. If you would take acid, bludgeoning, fire, or slashing damage, you have to be aware of it and aren't not flat-footed against it, but you get resistance from the triggering effect equal to your level.
Okay. I mean, that's like you're just water bending. You're bending that water around you.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Use a reflex, get some resistance for specific attack types. It doubles for acid and fire.
Cool.
Which makes sense.
Super.
Tidal Hands. Like Burning Hands, but tidal. You create waves of water that rush out from your hands. Oh, I should have done this with Teeks.
Yeah.
If only she could do this. You form either 2 15-foot cones that don't overlap, or 1 30-foot cone. Oh my gosh, I hate measuring cones, but I love the idea of just like aiming like one hand to one side, one hand to the other, just spraying out 2 cones on either side.
That's pretty good.
And it's a reflex save to avoid some bludgeoning damage or getting pushed. Water Dance. Surging wave forms behind and around a creature, pushing it forward. So you can make someone stride 30 feet, or swim 40 feet.
Oh,
and then it gets
kind of like,
yep.
Yeah, all of the movement options.
Yeah, they also get a bonus to defenses against reactions.
Okay.
You can also move yourself.
Aura, where you just become cold. Winter's Clutch, you're a cold man.
Mm-hmm. Anything that goes in there takes a cold damage.
Yeah, it collects in a snowdrift. Oh, you can just make a snowdrift. That's cool.
Yeah, and you can make difficult terrain with your snow. Or make snow angels, whatever you feel like doing.
Whatever you feel like doing. Or like it's Christmas.
Yeah, save this ability for your Christmas episode.
Make one town's Christmas day.
Return to the sea. You adapt a creature to living and moving in water. So a willing creature for 10 minutes will gain the effects of feet to fins, which I believe gives you a swim speed rather. And can breathe underwater.
You become a waterman again. You get somebody else to also become a waterman. Veil of Mists. You make mists as illusionary disguise, but it lasts for 10 minutes. Wow.
Yeah. So you can disguise yourself for a bit.
Slippery Sleet. You make the ground freezing rain. Oh god, it's like Canada.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking from experience, yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You have to make balance checks to keep on the uneven icy ground. That's like pretty nice.
They also take some cold damage when you first put it out there.
Yeah. Standing Surf. A water rushes up to a vertical sheet and stands suspended before you. Damn. This is Wall of Water. Okay, cool.
Yeah, another element wall, except different size.
Different size.
Lowland Fog. Impenetrable fog with chaotic swirling patterns. So
I mean, these are some cool maneuvers. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so everything inside is hidden. Then one creature of your choice in the area can step or stride provided it ends its movement inside the fog.
Okay.
Basically a bot. Torrent in the Blood.
Oh shit. It's another healing one.
Yeah. So if someone throws some healing bud at you, you can wash it off with this wave of water. Which gives you back some HP. You can also attempt to save against a poison or disease.
Oh, that's good. Oh, Drowning Sphere. Exactly what a sphere of water would do. It would drown you.
That was one of my favorite ones. Instead of Burning Sphere, you get Drowning Sphere. I mean, it's the same as the Aqueous Orb spell, but I like the name Drowning Sphere better.
Yeah, where people are just like, you dead. Just, the power of water is to make you drown. Nice.
And you can make your melee water attacks through the sphere.
Wow, what a dick.
Which is pretty good, like, because then you can add your strength to it, as opposed to the normal range ones.
Yeah, it's cool.
Glacial Prison. Just
yes.
in cover and ice.
Ice mode. Yeah, you freeze them into a freezy thing.
Yeah.
Turn them into a big icicle.
You petrify an enemy.
But it's ice instead of rocks.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Barrier of Boreal Frost, an intricate structure of ice, such as a wall of bricks made of packed snow or a screen of enormous icicles. Has the effect of a wall of ice spell, equal to half your level, rounded up.
But it's not a hemisphere, it's just a wall.
Yeah. So essentially, wall of ice.
Interesting. So I guess you could just marry the walls together. This is the first time I'm seeing 2 wall spells.
Yeah.
Or spells. Kung Fu moves.
It is. Oh no, it is an overflow though. So.
Oh, true.
But it lasts until the end of your next turn, although you can sustain it.
Oh, okay.
Pretty. I don't know if it says. I would assume you need to gather your element before you can sustain an elemental thing, but I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Sea Glass Guardian.
An elemental water
perhaps
being.
an eel.
An
Oh,
eel.
cool. Or a jellyfish.
It flows around combatants and doesn't occupy space. Whenever a creature in or adjacent to your aura damages you or an ally, it deals 8 damage to the attacker.
Oh, nice. A little auto attack. And you could get the aura pretty fucking high. Like, right? Like, I'm pretty sure you get to like 30, 40 feet. Like, it's like pretty big.
Yeah, I forget the name of the feat, but there is one that gets it that size.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Alright, now we get to the 18th level ones.
Yes.
Ride the Tsunami. Booming, crashing walls of water smash out ahead of you, overwhelming all in their path. Each creature at a 60-foot cone takes 8d10 bludgeoning damage with a basic reflex save. Creatures that fail are pushed, and any unintended object is pushed to the far edge of the cone. And then when it crashes down, you can swim in a straight line to any point in its area.
I love that you're just literally riding the tsunami. Like, you're just like, yeah, this is what's happening right now. We're going cowabunga, baby. Like,
I want to play an 18th level game.
you probably die. Like,
I mean, probably, yeah. Usurp the lunar rains. You can create water and control the tides, subverting even the moon's sovereignty. In a 20-foot burst within 120 feet, you can manipulate or create water in your choice of the following ways. So you can raise the water level in an area, you can create a pool of pure, clean water, which must be on a surface, or you can make the water in an area turbulent or calm. So it can reduce difficult terrain to calm water, or turn greater difficult terrain into difficult terrain, or vice versa. You can't turn difficult terrain into greater difficult terrain, and it lasts until the end.
You can't make it worse than it actually is. Okay.
You can make normal terrain difficult, but not difficult terrain more difficult, which is very specific because you can do every other thing.
True. I'm like not into this one too much. It's like, I know it's good because like you get to control like the level of water and stuff, but it just doesn't feel as awesome as like I'm Tsunami Man.
True.
I
wonder if
Sun Man, or this is my rock mountain, or even like you are literally falling forever. Like out of all of them, I would think this one is like the less cool. Like I'm sure it has like lots of utility to deal with water stuff, especially like the evil water trap. Like
Evil water
right?
trap. It's just a water trap. Don't worry about it.
It's evil. It's an evil water trap. Like that would save everyone. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's like too utility and not enough fun.
Fair enough.
It's lacking the fun.
If it were me, I would certainly let someone. I mean, if you're at this level, I would let someone use this to do some interesting effects. If you're on a ship or anything like that.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's only within a 20-foot burst, but ships are really big. But I would be kind of good if you were able to like make a ship be able to cross like choppy water or like increase the safety of like travel, right? That's like what I would think. Like if you're usurping the lunar reigns, it's like that kind of stuff. But yeah. Or
yeah.
like you can drain a lake or something like that, like something kind of like impactful. Unless it's like, you know, you can like separate a 20-foot burst. You can just freely manipulate the water in a 20-foot burst. So you can like walk underwater or something.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool if you could do something like that. It is very specifically situational, but if someone had some creative ideas, I'd let them get away with it.
That's for sure.
So that is the special elemental feats for the Kineticist. I do want to talk a bit for like just a few minutes about some combats I ran with a Kineticist that I made. Specifically an Earth-focused, Earth-dedicated Kineticist by the name of Jin Groundbreaker.
Not Rocky Boulder?
No, that'll be my next one. The Boulder is here. No, no, it's an Outer Worlds reference. If you get it, then you get it.
Okay.
But Jin Groundbreaker, Kineticist, I made them level 5. I wanted to focus on just giving them like more of the impulse ability. So they had Stepping Stones, they had Stone Shield and Tremor, Geological Attunement, and Blast Barrage when they got to 4th level. Just because I wanted to have something to do multiple attacks with. So I ran through a few combats, one of them with Tim as well. But the first one I did, it was Jin and a handful of the iconic Pathfinder characters. The Barbarian, the Cleric, and the Fighter. And they were fighting a Living Waterfall, Landslide, and Whirlwind. And this was just me, like, playing by myself, essentially. But I didn't have very much good results for the first one, but that had more to do with really bad rolls, if I'm being honest. I was just rolling really terribly, so like I couldn't get a sense of what was effective because nothing was landing.
Yeah.
I wasn't really a big fan of having to use the elemental blasts need to use like the hand wraps, like similar to what a monk needs to do. Mm-hmm. And I just wasn't a really big fan of it. I don't really like the hand wraps in general as a concept because I feel like your character, like your class, should just be like increasing damage as you level up instead of you needing to like buy and rebuy this specific item. Like,
yeah,
hand wraps, like how useful are they for any other class other than like monk, right? Or just anything that focuses on doing unarmed damage.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, you know, sword, like any other piece of weapon, but specifically this is like if you want unarmed combat, then this is the unarmed combat weapon. It's like, I don't know, I would, yeah, it's, I hear what you're saying. It's just like, it's just very like, it should like, because the class is trying to be that kung fu wizard, right? It's like obviously the hand wraps are necessary, right?
Yeah, like I get that, like for other classes, like they have to get other like items and stuff to do more damage and things, like they need a new sword or axe or whatever they're using as their weapon or whatever. It's just that because the unarmed damage is such a core part of certain classes, like the monk or like the kineticist, I don't like the idea that like to make my class more effective, I have to get these other things as opposed to just having like doing the basic ability better.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because it's like, why would I get the special ability that functions like a sword when I could just get a sword?
Yeah,
that's a super awesome sword. You know what I mean? Like, it should just be like, it just progresses normally, like, you know, like a wizard's like what's it called? Cantrips.
Yeah.
Right? It feels like it should just automatically go up. But that might just be like a scaling thing where they're trying to skew it towards it's more like a weapon and less like magic.
That's fair. Like I guess I can see why they would want to do it that way. It's just that in my head, like if it's coming from me, then my getting better should improve it.
Yeah, true. I mean, you could probably scale it. I think it's the action economy too, because like the cantrips are 2 actions while the attacks are 1 action, right? So it's like you would have to like scale it differently if you want to follow like a cantrip kind of deal. But I'm sure that like, I mean, like it's fine. It's just not like the sauce.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, pretty much.
Like, yeah, it's not like as cool as it should be.
I think what also bothered me as well is with the Kineticist, you do also have the downside of things that block spells or affect spells also affect your elemental blasts. So it's like, again, it just feels like the detriment of spell stuff with also the detriment of monk stuff.
Yeah, that's for sure, because you're trying to be the kung fu wizard. You have to be affected by all of the stuff. And it'd be cool if you could like punch magic stuff and like magic punch stuff. You know what I mean? Like take the best of both worlds and like flip them.
Yeah.
But
kind of feels like I have the lower end of both. But again, I also got really bad rolls because like the damage I was capable of with the blasts or the melee one was at least comparable to what the fighter could do with the sword with a basic attack. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, you could probably use like alternate rules where it's like, I know in the GM's guide there's like rules for if you just want to have a piece of equipment just level up with your character. There's like rules where you get certain abilities like as you level up, which could be really good. It's also like a good guideline, I think, because it's based off of the Pathfinder developers. They like if you are this level, you should probably have this piece of equipment doing this amount of damage, because like again, all the challenges or the levels are all those like the math stuff is calculated with you having the appropriate equipment as well, right? So
that's true. The second one I did, this is the one that Tim helped me out for a bit with. I wanted to do like a very difficult combat against a single enemy. The previous one was like a normal combat with a handful of enemies. This one specifically wanted to do something difficult, so I chose a young black dragon against the same party. It was pretty rough because I didn't bother to try and balance it, but Jin was much more effective here because I was getting those decent rolls. And again, like, I could do similar damage to what the fighter was doing. Not the same, because they have like abilities and stuff that will do different things, of course, but like if I was set up to do a bunch of elemental blasts, then I was capable of doing them.
So were you trying to, so like I know that we talked about a bunch of support abilities, right? Like a wall would be pretty nice to fight against a dragon and stuff like that, right? Where it's like, you're supporting, you're changing the battlefield, you're like not like directly influencing on like the DPS, but like more like you just making it harder for your opponents to get in position and stuff like that. So do you find that like you had the opportunity to play both roles, or was it more skewing towards one side?
I think, well, because of how I built the character and because they were at level 5, I was leaning a bit more I think this is also something I noticed, that I was leaning a bit more to doing like combat stuff. But I did feel a bit limited because there's only like a really couple effective things I could do, but that might have just been on my selection. I think if I was higher level and I had the Wall of Rock feat, Rock Rampart, then I might have tried to use it in that position. I did take the healing one, but I didn't really use it very much, I think.
Okay. Well, I mean, all this stuff is like base healing. It's like having a little bit of healing is really good, so in any instance, it'll stop people from dying.
Oh no, I didn't take that. I think I took Blast Barrage instead.
Yes, of course. Because Big Rock go boom.
Yeah, because I was focused on making it a combat person. Although Blast Barrage didn't come in handy until the next combat that I did, which was a much smaller one. It was just like a big skeletal giant and like a handful of small skeleton dudes.
Nice. So then you blew up all the small skeleton dudes with your Brocks.
Basically, because Blast Barrage, you can do 3 attacks in 2 actions, but they have to be on different targets. It also, I may be mistaken, but it didn't specify that they all had to be like the same type. So I basically moved to where I could do a melee attack, and then I did 2 ranged attacks, which were pretty effective against enemies of that level. I would have tried if it was a real game. I could have tried to use Tremor, but I would be concerned because it would have hit my allies as well, and I was kind of in the combat box that happens.
I see.
In melee combat.
Got you. Yeah, you're in the Thunderdome.
Basically, yes. And I didn't want to thunder my allies.
True.
But as far as the feeling of just like, I'm a person who can control the earth, I can use the elements to do damage to people. So here, take this blast of like a bunch of different rocks, but like punch someone with my rock fist. I was getting that feeling, I was getting that vibe. I was largely enjoying it. I would want to test it in like a more realistic setting, but I was pretty much enjoying the class and the character.
That's good. I mean, I'm definitely excited for all of the, the idea of getting the Avatar crew together, go stopping Firelord Ozai whenever this book comes out. I'm sure there's going to be some Firelord out there that needs to be stomped on by a group of plucky, teenagers.
Yeah, Firelord, Melon Lord, whichever one.
Yeah, with various elements to their name. Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be a cool game to run. If you guys want that, let us know, and maybe we'll do a one shot.
Yeah, I would like to do. Maybe we can do something like that on the channel. I don't know if we'll do it. In time for the playtest.
Maybe do like a Sentai show where it's like everybody has like different Power Rangers or magical girls, but like they're all just different elements, and they're just like, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I do also want to try out the other kinds of Kineticist, because there is the one where it's like you have access to only 2 elements. There's the one where you have access to 4. I didn't get to try those personally, but yeah, it would be interesting to do.
For sure.
But yeah, I think overall, through my brief experience with a level 5 version of the class, I'm enjoying it so far. I just don't like the hand wraps. I'm sure someone can make a good argument for it that I'll probably think makes sense mechanically. It's just that instinctively I feel like if this is my main thing, I should get better at it because I'm higher level. I should be better at this thing that I do because I'm better now. Not, yeah, I need to buy more fabric for my hands, or else I can't punch as well as I should be able to.
True.
I don't know. I feel a disconnect there, but I'm sure there's a I'm like you were saying, how the balance for combats at certain level assumes you have certain items. I'm sure there's a balance in there that I just don't feel instinctively.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all we have to say on the Kineticist for now. Obviously, down below in the comments, if you have more discussion, if you have something that you want to correct us on, if we missed something, feel free to do so. Or if you have your own experience playing Kineticist, the playtest does end September 5th, so pretty close to the deadline by the time this episode goes up. But yeah, if you have any feelings on it, just drop them below. We can have a conversation about this class or any other class in Pathfinder 2e and how you think they work together. Additionally, if you're below, I think, is there anything else you want to say on the Kineticist before we roll into the outro?
No. I think I've said my piece. That this is definitely Avatar the class, and if you like Avatar, which you probably do, this will be a good addition to your game. Indeed.
Yeah, you should definitely try it out if you're interested in Pathfinder. Additionally, below in the description, we've got a lot of cool stuff that you can check out, a lot of Lancer stuff. Be sure to check out all the people we've talked to with regards to Lancer. Keep an eye out for the Field Guide to Liminal Space. I know they recently made an update. They posted an update, rather, from their Kickstarter page, if you've supported that and you hadn't seen it yet. As well, I want to make sure to give a shout out to the Untold Stories project, where I'm at on now Mondays and Tuesdays. I'm in their space superhero game on Mondays, and they are starting a new Magical Girls superhero game on Tuesday. That's going to take place in another dimension, and I'm very excited.
Nice.
By the time this comes out, we'll have done the introduction of it in Session 0 and everything on the channel. Or rather, the introduction will be on the channel, and we'll have the Session 0 recorded, and we'll see if that'll go online as well. But if you want to get to know the characters and the world, be sure to check that out. If you haven't, it'll be on the Untold Stories Project Twitch or on their YouTube.
Okay.
Other than that,
Cool.
I think that's about it. Ramon, anything else you want to say before we head off?
Nope. Give him the sauce.
Well, to all the GMs and players out there in the infinite expanse of Bluest Heaven, just remember to keep on winning with dice. And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.